Breaking news overnight. 2 people are dead, another seriously injured after someone shot into a crowd of protesters in Kenosha. We'll have the latest.
And only on News 3 this morning, the response from community leaders after another night of unrest in downtown. We'll have a closer look at the new damage coming up.
This is News 3 Now this morning.
Good morning, folks. I'm Leah Lynchide.
And I'm Chris Stanford. We are starting this hour with breaking news from overnight. Kenosha police are searching right now for a shooter. 2 people are dead, another seriously injured after a gunman opened fire into a crowd of protesters.
It happened just after midnight when a group of protesters were standing near a police line. The Journal Sentinel says a man with a long gun ran from the protesters who chased after him, sparking more shots to be fired. Police say they are confident that they will find the shooter. They expect to have that person in custody very soon. The FBI also helping with the investigation. This is, of course, still a developing story at this hour as we wait to hear about any potential arrests and the conditions of those injured. We will bring you those details as they break this morning. That city is, for the 3rd night in a row, under a curfew until 7 a.m. The central hub for protesters continues to be around the courthouse in town. You can see right here police trying to disperse crowds with tear gas, but members of the crowd throwing the canisters back. Rubber bullets were also fired at protesters by police and National Guard units called in by Governor Evers. Jacob Blake's mother says she supports the protesters and that they have a right to be angry, but she asks that they show their anger peacefully.
Please don't burn up property and cause havoc and tear your own homes down in my son's name. And it's not helping Jacob. It's not helping Jacob or any other of the men or women who has suffered in these areas.
Protests also continuing in Madison. Community leaders had hoped that last night's protest stayed peaceful, but things quickly changed.
Yeah, that was the case for most of the evening, that peaceful protesting, but the night ended with small groups breaking off to cause more property damage. Josh Breiter back downtown this morning giving us a fresh look at some of that new damage. Josh?
Good morning, guys. The good news here, there isn't quite as much damage as there was just 24 hours ago when we were down here reporting on this, but a lot of businesses did still see some damage. We're actually west of the areas that have seen this in the past. This is the Madison Fresh Market right now, which actually saw obviously some broken glass, and this is 2-pane glass right here, so they broke right through this. They've already kind of boarded this up overnight. Also more businesses, the Verizon store down there and also Valencia Coffee on the end, also targeted overnight. Now, these were obviously the stores and businesses that didn't board up before all of this. As you look down University Avenue towards the State Street area, a lot of those businesses had already boarded up, and those were the ones that spared most of the damage last night. Now, it was just around 12:30 this morning when we first started to see a number of people spray painting, breaking windows, and starting fires. That included a small group who shattered the door at the downtown police precinct. At least 4 people were arrested, according to Madison Police. Boys and Girls Club CEO Michael Johnson helped organize efforts to keep overnight protests peaceful, and when that damage started, he moved in front of the police building and asked the protesters to stop. Johnson says he is disappointed that a group of people chose to break off the peace and tells News 3 this morning exclusively he hopes this will not define what they gathered for.
This is a distraction. Tomorrow morning, when this is on the news and when this is written in newspapers, it won't be the list of things that you identified as issues you want to address. It's going to be you came up and down State Street and you raised hell and you burned the garbage cans and you broke windows. And so it was just disappointing.
The peaceful protest started around sunset with a vigil. Johnson then led the group on a march up and down State Street around UW and back to the Capitol. Other community leaders joined in on last night's protests and calls for peace, including MMSD Superintendent Dr. Carlton Jenkins and former Madison Mayor Paul Soglin. Protesters say they plan to be out here every night until their 3 demands are met. They want community control of police, a ban on police using no-knock warrants passed in honor of Brianna Taylor, and lawmakers to pass a hands-up act that would punish police officers who shoot unarmed people. Back out here live this morning along the University Square, we are continuing to walk around and assess what damage was done overnight. Obviously, this is night 3. A lot of people are already looking ahead to tonight, already spoken to a few businesses business owners and also residents around here wondering when all of this is going to settle down. And right now that question is still up in the air, guys, but hopefully soon. And Michael Johnson is going to be having a press conference later today. He tells us he's going to try and get one together so they can come up with a plan to avoid any more damage tonight.
Yeah,
guys.
it certainly feels like more community members are trying to get in front of this and you know, put a positive message out there and to try to curb some of that damage and destruction that's happening downtown. Josh Sprider, thank you very much.
6:04 now. Hattie McLean is keeping an eye on a couple of alert days in the forecast. Hattie, a hot forecast ahead.
It certainly is. One of the warmest days of the summer so far at the end of August. 2 alert days for today and tomorrow. We're talking heat index values well into the 90s both days. On Thursday, there also is the chance for some strong to severe thunderstorms. Not until later in the day or into the night. That's also a possibility. So let's talk first about the heat. Heat bulletins will start at 1 o'clock this afternoon for the counties shaded in orange. That's mainly southwestern Wisconsin, especially right along the Mississippi River Valley. Extreme heat safety tips. Keep these in mind as you spend time outside today. If you have to spend time, especially between 10 and 3, that'll be the peak heating hours. Be sure to keep hydrated and take more frequent breaks than you might usually take if you're working outside. Limit those strenuous outdoor activities, especially during those midday hours. Remember to wear lightweight clothing and light colored clothes. It does help. Black, of course, absorbs the heat from the sun and warms you up more quickly. And if you can, remember to check on any elderly neighbors or family members, as well as pets. Make sure they're staying safe in this hot weather as well. Here's a look at your future track forecast. If you want to see how quickly temperatures will warm up today, we're in the mid-70s by 8:30 this morning. Lunchtime temperatures already in the upper 80s in many spots. Boscobel surpassing the 90-degree threshold by lunchtime today. We'll top in the low to mid-90s this afternoon with nothing but sunshine and a southwesterly wind. Temperatures will be rather cool or slow to cool down this evening. Rain chances as we go forward. We do have that chance for rain in the forecast, especially on Friday. Here's a look at potential rain accumulation through Friday night. Could see over an inch across parts of central and southern Wisconsin. That is good news for some areas. That rain comes to an end, though, just in time for the weekend. Saturday and Sunday still looking very pleasant with highs in the middle 70s.
Looks like folks in far southwestern Wisconsin might not get a whole lot of this rain.
Not as much, but at least some. Hopefully they'll get some, which is better than nothing, right?
Yeah, well, they need quite a bit of it. Thanks, Hattie. A lawsuit from a conservative law firm is looking to overturn Wisconsin's statewide mask mandate. The lawsuit filed in Polk County Circuit Court by the Wisconsin Institute for Law and Liberty argues that Governor Evers did not have the legal authority to issue the order. It took effect August 1st and is scheduled to run until September 28th. The governor's deputy communications director released a response to that. In a statement, they said that Republicans are trying to stop the governor from keeping Wisconsinites safe. She writes, quote, "From safer at home to the April election and now masks, they have filed more lawsuits than they have passed bills during the pandemic."
A separate lawsuit has been filed against the head of Public Health Madison in Dane County over the order for students to start school virtually. That order for students in 3rd through 12th grade went into effect on Monday. Court documents filed with the Wisconsin Supreme Court allege Janelle Heinrich is acting outside of her authority and that the order infringes on the fundamental right to an education. The suit was filed by a Fitchburg mother. The lawsuit says she enrolled her 2 daughters in religious school. They were all ready to follow the new guidelines. They had even started classes already when that emergency order was announced.
We've been down this road and we met with the faculty, and yeah, they did everything right. So from the adult lens, it felt like a punch to the stomach. That what else can we do? We've done everything you've asked, and still it's not good enough.
The lawsuit asks the High Court to decide what power a local health officer has as far as limiting in-person education and private gatherings. The court has asked Heinrich to respond by Friday afternoon.
The CDC is advising businesses to stay out of it when it comes to patrons who don't want to wear a mask. The health agency is out with some new guidances to limit workplace violence aimed at employees enforcing COVID-19 restrictions. The CDC says confronting customers could result in a violent confrontation. This after a number of incidents across the country, including at least one shooting after a customer was asked to wear a mask in a Pennsylvania store.
6:09 now. We are continuing to help you prepare for an unprecedented back-to-school season. Coming up in our next half hour, we're hearing from local experts on your options for childcare this fall. That story is coming up at 5:45. Ahead of that, though, Hurricane Laura now making its way to the coasts of Texas and Louisiana. Hattie is tracking the latest for us from the First Warn Weather Center.
Go ahead. We're in downtown Madison, giving you a closer look at some new damage overnight after more unrest across the capital city. You're watching News 3 Now this morning. We thank you for that, and we'll be right back.
Gear up for fall is on now at Sloan Implement. Run with the John Deere 1025R compact utility tractor. Get 0% for 84 months on a 1025R. Get a John Deere now during Gear Up for Fall and powered up with Sloan.
When looking for a TV and internet provider, we know you have a choice. This is Jessica. She still has satellite TV.
Well, I get tons of HD.
Spectrum has tons of HD, and we love Spectrum's 24-hour local news channel. Plus, we get exclusive access to premium original content with Spectrum Originals.
I don't have that.
Get Spectrum TV from $44.99 a month. Call 833-976-4499.
Spectrum Internet starts at 200 megabits with no data caps and a free modem.
We have to get internet from another company, and it isn't nearly as fast.
Spectrum Internet, $44.99 a month.
I'd switch, but I'm stuck in a contract and would have to pay up to $480 to cancel.
Spectrum has no contracts, and they'll pay up to $500 to help you out of yours.
That's it. I'm switching to Spectrum.
Get Spectrum TV and internet from $44.99 a month each. Call 833-976-4499.
Oh my gosh. Wow. Who am I? Wow, is that really me? It's a facelift in a jar.
The people you're watching have just seen themselves in the mirror for the first time since we applied Plexiderm to their problem areas. And this Labor Day, we invite you to turn back your visual clock with Plexiderm. All it takes is 10 minutes. In fact, if you visit plexidermtrial.com, you can see real people apply Plexiderm and watch as their under-eye bags and wrinkles visibly disappear in just minutes.
I'm Neela. I'm 61 years old. I'm a professional personal trainer. It's so important to be in good health and to be fit and take care of yourself. Plexiderm makes you feel as good outside as you do inside. Amazing.
So look your best this Labor Day. Try Plexiderm today for only $14.95. Plus, get free shipping. Visit plexidermtrial.com or call the number on your screen.
Bad sleep.
Oh, the worst.
You know, there's really no excuse for bad sleep. During the Labor Day sale at Denver Mattress. Right now, the more you buy, the more you save. Save $100 on every $1,000 you spend. Or to celebrate our newest arrival, come in and test out the outrageously comfortable Casper mattress. Check out the Summit Queen, only $189.99. Plus 5 years, no interest, and free shipping. The Labor Day sale, on now at Denver Mattress.
Gear Up for Fall is on now at Sloan Implement. Run with the John Deere 1025R compact utility tractor. Get 0% for 84 months on a 1025R. Get a John Deere now during Gear Up for Fall and powered up with Sloan.
All right, welcome back. Time right now is 6:12. To get you caught up on something that happened in Kenosha from overnight, a second person has now died after someone opened fire into a crowd of protesters last night. Meantime, we're also dealing with stuff again here in Madison.
Yeah, Josh Sprider is keeping an eye on new damage in a new part of the downtown, a new street. Josh, what are you seeing?
Hey, good morning, guys. Yeah, we are just west of the State Street area this morning along University Avenue. This is actually University Square. Valencia Coffee right here on the end of the Lucky apartment building. You can see a trash can was used to break through the glass here. Glass literally littering this entire restaurant right now. You can hear glass still falling at this hour. Now, we do know several businesses were damaged overnight. 4 people were arrested after those peaceful protests turned into this violence. Those community leaders trying to keep it from going violent, but they just couldn't keep it enough into the early morning hours this morning when things did get messy. Things got ugly overnight. We're keeping an eye on this and also seeing what's going to be happening later today. If city leaders are going to be coming together to figure out how to prevent more of this happening in the coming nights. Back to you.
Josh Sprider, thank you very much. 6:14 now. Mike Pence is one of the headlining speakers for night 3 of the Republican National Convention. Political reporter Amy Reed catches up on the highlights he will be following.
Here are the 3 things you need to know about night 2 of the Republican National Convention. Number 1, focus on the issues. The Republican Party refocused on policy, including school choice, the economy, and anti-abortion rights. Number 2, breaking norms. A sitting Secretary of State had never addressed a political convention, and Secretary Mike Pompeo broke with post-World War II practice of not mixing foreign diplomacy with domestic politics, addressing the RNC on an official trip to Jerusalem. Also, First Lady Melania Trump spoke from the Rose Garden, and the acting Department of Homeland Security Secretary oversaw a naturalization ceremony using his office for campaigning, raising questions of violations of the Hatch Act. On Wisconsin was included arguably more during night 2 of the RNC than the whole of the DNC. We saw a small business owner, a dairy farmer, and a mom and son. This was part of their pitch to Middle America and everyday Americans.
All right, that's Amy Reed reporting there. Here is the lineup of speakers for day 3 of the convention. Kellyanne Conway, who said that she was leaving the White House this week. Vice President Mike Pence and the president's daughter, Laura. Amy Reed will continue to bring you coverage from the Republican National Convention and provide recaps every morning until the end of the convention. We're continuing to track tropical weather in the Gulf Coast this morning. Hurricane Laura rapidly growing in strength over the last 24 hours. This is a live look at Galveston, Texas, that city under a mandatory evacuation ahead of the hurricane's landfall. The National Hurricane Center is predicting potentially life-threatening storm surges right now for impacted areas. Our Hattie McLean is continuing to track the storm forest from the First Warn Weather Center. Good morning, Hattie.
Good morning, Chris. Yeah, Laura is noteworthy because it has strengthened so quickly over the last 24 hours. You can now see some of those rain bands just showing up south of Louisiana. The center of the storm is about a little over 300 miles south of Louisiana at this hour. It will continue to strengthen through the day today. That storm is moving over very warm waters, and there's little to no atmospheric shear to break that storm up. So it will continue to strengthen today. Here's a look at your precipitation estimates from the storm as it makes landfall. Again, 5 to 10 inches, pretty widespread amounts from this storm. There could be some isolated amounts up to 15 inches, and that's combined with that deadly storm surge. Tropical watches and warnings are in effect from the eastern coast of Texas all the way through Louisiana and even inland further. Here's a look. Laura is a strong Category 2 storm right now. 110 miles an hour is the sustained wind speed. It is expected to rapidly intensify to a Category 4 storm later on today and then make landfall late tonight or very early Thursday morning as a Category 3 storm. That'll still be a major hurricane with winds at 120 miles an hour, gusting up to 150 miles an hour. The storm is expected to rapidly weaken as it moves over land, but will stay as an area of low pressure as it continues to track towards the mid-Atlantic region. Here's a look at our forecast. We're not talking tropical conditions here. However, it feels kind of tropical outside. The alert day is in place today for the high heat and humidity. Heat advisories will start at 1 o'clock for those counties shaded in orange. That'll be southwestern Wisconsin. This is a look at what it will feel like today. Over the next 12 hours, heat index will climb very quickly into the upper 90s later on this afternoon.
All right, Hattie, thank you very much. 6:17 now. The percentage of positive COVID tests in Wisconsin appears to be leveling out this morning. There were more than 630 new COVID-19 cases confirmed in the state in the last 24 hours. With that, about 40 more people have also been hospitalized. 10 more people died, bringing the total number of deaths to 1,100. DHS says nearly 10,000 people were tested in the past 24 hours, nearly twice as much as Monday. Of those who were tested, 6.4% came back positive, starting to even out that orange line. It's a decrease from Monday's 8.1%. There are new guidelines out this morning from the CDC about who should get tested for COVID-19. It now says people who don't have symptoms don't need to get tested, even if they've been exposed. Health experts are questioning that decision. They say the time before symptoms show is when people can be most contagious. New data shows 40% of transmission happens before infected people show those symptoms.
A German study says about 85% of COVID-19 patients show at least one symptom. The research comes from the Robert Koch Institute and data from more than 2,100 patients. Researchers explain that it shows the importance of testing people based on their symptoms. The study also found that 40% of patients previously tested positive for COVID-19 had no longer had antibodies. Google searches for anxiety are the highest they've ever been. Searches for information about panic attacks and anxiety spiked following COVID-related major news events from mid-March to mid-May. Researchers from UC San Diego suggest that for some Americans, fear about having COVID may have a greater effect on their health than the actual coronavirus.
This is the time of year when fancy new phones hit the market, but if spending a small fortune on the latest and greatest tech isn't for you, Consumer Reports reveals some smartphones that get the job done without breaking the bank.
Introducing Galaxy S20 Ultra. At $1,400, Samsung's Galaxy S20 Ultra is one of the most expensive smartphones in Consumer Reports ratings. Same goes for Apple's iPhone 11 Pro Max at $1,100. Both models are newer and earn excellent scores in CR's rigorous tests. But do you really need to spend over $1,000 for a great phone?
Absolutely not.
Bree Fowler covers smartphones for CR. She says there are several less expensive options out there.
While these phones may not have the fanciest cameras or the fastest processors, for a lot of people, they're still good options.
Take the iPhone XR. It's almost 2 years old, but at $600, it's cheaper than ever and packed with features like a sharp screen and a very good camera, making it a Consumer Reports best buy. Same goes for the Samsung Galaxy S10 for around $750. It's been on the market for a year, and the price is $150 less than when it launched.
You can also save money by shopping a lesser-known brand like Google or OnePlus. Or think about buying a used phone or one that's refurbished.
CR says before you buy a used phone, make sure you know exactly what you're getting. Will it come with a charger? Is the screen scratched? If you buy a refurbished model directly from Apple or Samsung, you might pay a little more, but you'll get a phone that's just like new. It may even have a brand new battery, outer shell, a box, and accessories. And both companies provide a 1-year warranty.
All right, 6:21 now. We are following breaking news out of Kenosha at this hour. 2 people dead after someone fired shots into a crowd of protesters. We'll have the latest on that developing story just ahead. Stay with us.
Ashley Home Store's Labor Day Tempur-Pedic deals start now. Pay $28 per month interest-free for 6 years on Tempur-Pedic, plus $300 in free furniture and free guaranteed delivery within 5 days on in-stock beds. Only at Ashley Home Store. This is home.
Dear Summer, how do I make the most of you? Do I kick back and relax? Or climb new mountains? I could go and get dirty. Or switch into new lanes. One thing's for sure, it's gonna be great. Can't wait. Toyota.
Right now, you can get $1,500 customer cash on a new 2020 Highlander or Highlander Hybrid. Toyota.
A1 Furniture and Mattress on Stoughton Road is now open, featuring affordable in-stock name brands for every room, with a huge selection that's hard to beat. That's why we're A1, locally owned and operated since 1980.
Working out? Not canceled. Catching up? Not canceled. Game night? Not canceled. Nap time? Not canceled. If new carpet would make you happier at home, we're here to help with standard carpet installation of just $75. Carpet one room or your whole house. And installation is only $75 while we celebrate our 75th anniversary. Coil Carpet One Floor and Home. Locally owned and operated since 1945.
Scranton is a long way from Wall Street. You won't find skyscrapers or big city bankers, just hard-working people. That's where Joe Biden's story starts. It's why he's running for president, for the backbone of this nation, working families. Donald Trump, he's in it for himself and his wealthy friends. In this crisis, we need to help workers and small businesses, and we need a president who will build back better.
I'm Joe Biden, and I approve this message.
Welcome to the Del Bar. One visit and you'll fall in love. A supper club you'll adore. We are now open, so take a drive. We would love to have you come and dine with us. The Del Bar, since 1943, Wisconsin Dells.
The coronavirus has forced the government to take extensive actions, making this the most opportunistic time for you to finally restructure or even resolve your tax debt with the IRS. If you owe $10,000 or more in back taxes, have unfiled tax returns, and are experiencing hardships because of the impact of COVID-19, you could qualify for more aggressive resolution plans with the IRS. National Tax Experts has specialists ready to help you determine your eligibility for these programs. Act now before it's too late.
Call 1-800-392-6331.
Ashley Home Store's Labor Day sale starts now. Beat the crowds to save up to 50% off special buys and doorbusters. Plus, get a bonus 5% holiday discount at checkout. And 5-year interest-free affordability makes for low monthly payments. Online and in-store at Ashley Home Store.
Time to see who's sharing their morning with us. A great photo here from Ken. That sky is just on fire.
Stunning. Love
Wonderful
that.
pic, I know, right? So thanks, Ken, for sending that in. You can get your picture on the air too, folks. All you got to do is post it to our social media pages. And make sure you use the hashtag MyNews3Morning. We'll pick our favorites and show them on the air. So here's one for somebody who loves marshmallows and Lucky Charms. You get all the marshmallows and none of the other stuff. It's a brand new cereal.
Yeah,
it was designed by a 4-year-old.
Yeah, clearly.
With the sweet tooth.
Clearly.
I'm kidding. I don't know who came up with it.
General Mills is selling packages of the Just Magical marshmallows. Starts this weekend. They come in a 6-ounce package, and you can get them nationwide for just around $4. We're not sure how long the limited item will be available, so get them while you can. See if your kids bounce off the walls. Great social experiment.
They will be. So I'm going to play a Debbie Downer here.
Oh, boy, Chris.
I looked it up.
Oh, boy.
And I found that a single serving of those Just marshmallows has twice the amount of sugar as a can of Coke. So it's like drinking it's like 84 grams of sugar in one serving.
Is that like 84 teaspoons or something like that? Like
I don't think it's quite that much.
So nutritionists suggest you get 25 grams a day. So you have this little package. So you're good for like a week.
For the overachievers out there.
That's beautiful. That is great.
All right. I bet they taste great, though.
That is true. The kids will love it. Heat advisories in effect today, starting this afternoon. Definitely going to be uncomfortable with those dew points near 70. Heat index will be in the 90s.
Put some sugar in your coffee. Join us for our last half hour, folks. We'll be right back.
News 3 Now First Warn Weather is brought to you by Lazy Boy Home Furnishings and Decor.
Discover a shopping and design experience as comfortable as the furniture. Lazy Boy Home Furnishings and Decor. Schedule your free design consultation today.
Autumn adventurers, run with Sloan. Save $500 on full-size and $300 on mid-size John Deere Gator XUVs. Plus, get 0% for 48 months. Get a John Deere Gator during Gear Up for Fall. And
Powered up with Sloan.
3 days only. It's the end of summer sale at Grand Appliance. Get the area's lowest appliance prices, plus up to $600 in extra savings on top appliance brands exclusively at Grand. Shop in-store or online at grandappliance.com August 27th through the 29th for great deals like this LG 6.3 cubic foot electric range with air fry and convection technologies for just $698. Grand Appliance and TV, trusted since 1930.
Great decision on your new windows. Buy one, get one won't last long.
Have you always been so passionate about windows?
Felco's buy one, get one free windows is totally rad. Felco's energy efficient windows are a must in every home. So hurry, call now.
You could say that.
Buy one window, get one free, and get no interest for 1 year.
Buy one, get one free, and soon. Call now.
For quality windows, siding, and doors, call 866 for Felco.
Lately, we found new ways to support and care for each other. And while every gesture counts, so too does every dollar. That's why American Family Insurance is returning $425 million to our customers. This includes a 10% savings for all current and new auto customers for the rest of the year. We hope this does your world some good and reminds you that supporting your dreams means the world to us. Contact your agent or go to amfam.com to learn about more ways to save.
I like to drive. I used to think I was a pretty good driver.
But now, Joe Biden's taken a sharp left turn. Buckle up for his $4 trillion tax hike. Biden's plan raises taxes on small business, reversing the recovery. He's pledged to eliminate blue-collar oil and gas jobs. And analysts estimate stocks would crash up to 25% if Biden takes the wheel, crushing your retirement.
This is just bold.
Hit the brakes on Biden. He'll wreck our economy. Club for Growth Action is responsible for the content of this advertising.
You wash your cars and clothes and canines. You wash your cars and clothes and canines. You wash your cars and clothes and canines. magic wash. Whoa.
Autumn adventurers, run with Sloan. Save $500 on full-size and $300 on mid-size John Deere Gator XUVs. Plus, get 0% for 48 months. Get a John Deere Gator during Gear Up for Fall. And powered up with Sloan.
We have new developments from protests overnight in Kenosha. What police say about the shots fired into a group last night.
Some hazy sunshine already this morning. It's going to be a hot day across southern Wisconsin. All the details coming up.
This is News 3 Now this morning.
Shooting took male white with a rifle. He was running southbound, turned around and fired into the crowd.
We start with that breaking news this morning. Within the last hour, we have learned at least 2 people are dead after someone shot into a crowd of protesters in Kenosha overnight.
Here is what that scene looked like in the first few moments. Now, it has not been confirmed yet who fired those shots, and police have not given a very detailed description of the gunman. Police say they could be looking for at least one person. That shooting started just after midnight as a group of protesters stood against police in armored trucks. Police can be heard on scanners saying that a man with a rifle started running away from that group before another round of shooting started. We'll continue to track this developing story throughout the day.
A curfew in effect in Kenosha until at least 7 a.m., but protesters still paying it no mind. They're continuing to demand justice for Jacob Blake, the black man shot and paralyzed by Kenosha police. Protesters gathered around the courthouse and throughout the downtown area, holding signs and chanting. A small number of them tried to take down the fence separating protesters from police protecting the courthouse. Officers responded with tear gas and rubber bullets.
Governor Evers activating the National Guard to respond to the protest. This lets the National Guard help local officers protect buildings that are kind of the epicenter of some of those protests that we've seen over the past few nights. We know that 250 National Guard troops helped out in Kenosha overnight. That was twice as many as we saw in the city overnight on Monday. According to Robin Voss, that number of National Guard troops is not enough. The Assembly Speaker tweeted overnight responding to a claim from the White House. The Trump administration said that Wisconsin law enforcement requested at least 750 National Guard troops for Kenosha. The governor requested 250. In his tweet, Voss said, "Why in the world would Governor Evers ignore the request of local officials? We're working to learn whether the governor knew of those requests." Here in Madison, a very peaceful night of demonstration ended with damage to a number of shops from a small group of people in those crowds.
Community leaders have emphasized nonviolence. They've tried to stop the agitators from making things worse. Our Josh Sprider's been live all morning in downtown Madison. Josh, what is different about what you're seeing today compared to what we saw yesterday?
Hey, good morning, guys. We're seeing a lot less new damage overnight. Not as much damage was done overnight as those community leaders tried to come out here and help protect some of those downtown businesses. We're out in front of the police precinct right now, which actually saw quite a bit of action. You can see both windows were broken out and quite a bit of graffiti also around this area. As we look towards the road, you can see the street sweeper just came through, but they actually cleaned up some of the roads. There were actually American flags that were burned in the street last night. Around 12:30 this morning, a small number of people shattered the door to the police department downtown here. Boys and Girls Club president Michael Johnson tried to stop them. He actually sat in front of the building to discourage any damage from being done. We also saw several dumpster fires off University Avenue right outside of the off-campus housing for UW-Madison. Within the last couple of hours, we've learned at least 4 people have been arrested in connection to that damage, but that wasn't what protesters and community leaders intended to happen last night into this morning. The night started with a vigil just before sunset honoring shooting victims in Wisconsin and across the country. The group, led by Michael Johnson, marched up and down State Street into the UW-Madison campus area and back to the Capitol, stopping for speeches along the way. Other community figures like former Mayor Paul Soglin and the Madison's school district's new superintendent, Dr. Carlton Jenkins, also marched. He says this is an important moment and the momentum needs to carry on beyond just the night.
And I am so glad that we're coming out here in a peaceful manner tonight. And I say that we take the same energy and continue to fight for human decency. It's time out, okay? And we can do it in a non-violent way, but let's not just show up for an event. We have to continue to push forward.
Now, as we just showed you moments ago, some people didn't take those words to heart, and it wasn't just community leaders trying to keep the peace. Other protesters tried to help it out as well. Our Maddie O'Neill saw many protesters yelling at people to stop breaking windows. Michael Johnson spoke only with News 3 Now this morning about a couple of hours ago, right after everything calmed down. He tells me the damage is a distraction.
And it was just disappointing to witness, but I also understand the anger. I also understand the challenges that we face, but I think that our city leadership, our police department, got to meet with these young people and got to meet them halfway and understand what the issues are, and I think they have to meet them halfway.
Night 3 of unrest here in Madison, and many of those community leaders are hoping that city officials can come together as well as the police department today to come up with a game plan as far as the next few nights go. A lot of businesses already boarded up in downtown. Whoever didn't last night did see some damage. Most of them saw damage. So still a lot of tension here in downtown Madison. And of course, we're going to continue following this. Guys.
Josh Breider's been live downtown the last 2 days, keeping an eye on all of this damage, giving us a fresh look. Josh, thank you very much. Madison protesters plan to continue their protests until local leaders answer to these 3 demands. They want Brianna's law passed. That's named, of course, after Brianna Taylor. It would ban police from using no-knock warrants. They want lawmakers to pass the Hands Up Act. That would punish officers who shoot unarmed people. They also want community control of the police.
Jacob Blake's mother is condemning the recent violence and destruction. Julie Jackson says that kind of reaction doesn't reflect her son.
I don't hate anybody. I am livid about what happened. I don't understand it. I'm broken, so heartbroken. But that doesn't mean that I can't have compassion and forgive.
God of patience, God.
Blake's family says that he has 8 bullet holes in his body and is paralyzed now from the waist down. Ben Crump is the lawyer representing the family who you saw in that soundbite. He says it would take a miracle for Blake to walk again. The Wisconsin Department of Justice is in charge of the investigation. The Kenosha Professional Police Association has asked the public to withhold judgment until the investigation is complete.
All right, it is 6:36 now. Miss Hattie McLean keeping an eye on a couple of alert days in the forecast. Hattie?
Good morning, Leah. That's right. We have today and tomorrow as alert days for southern Wisconsin. Today, it's for the heat and humidity. It's going to be one of the warmest days so far this summer. Heat index values will be up close to 100 this afternoon. Tomorrow is going to be nearly as hot, but there's also potential for strong to severe thunderstorms developing late in the day and then continuing into the night. So let's first talk about the heat. Heat advisories start at 1 o'clock for these counties. Again, right along the Mississippi River Valley, that is southwestern Wisconsin. No heat advisories for the remainder of the area, but it is definitely going to be very hot. We have some hazy sunshine early this morning, 75 degrees here in Madison. Probably noting some of the haze in the atmosphere. That's partly due to the wildfires out west, some of that smoke. We have clear skies, dew point at 68 degrees this morning. Dew point is going to stay high today, making it feel pretty uncomfortable. Take a look at temperatures across the area, 60s and 70s this morning. Really not cooling down much overnight. 68 in Watertown, 72 in Janesville. Mineral Point's one of the cooler spots this morning, just at 66 degrees. Now here's a look at your dew point trend through the day. Notice that dew points will stay fairly steady in the upper 60s, making it feel pretty uncomfortable. When you factor in that heat and humidity, here's a look at your future track heat index forecast. At 11 o'clock this morning, it'll already be feeling like 88 in Madison and Janesville, 86 in the Dells, 88 in Boscoville and Prairie du Chien, and those numbers go up from there. Temperatures, the heat index will be in the 90s through the afternoon, mid to upper 90s during those peak heating hours. It'll be pretty slow to cool down this evening as well. After 10 or 11 o'clock, that's when we'll start to see those heat index values drop back into the 70s. When we're talking heat index values, though, up to around 105, that's when heat-related illnesses will be possible. And here are some of the signs that you should watch out for today. If you are spending any time outside, if you start to have or experience excessive sweating or any muscle cramps, a rapid or weak pulse, those are all signs that your body is too hot. You need to cool down quickly. Here's a look at your extended forecast. We have temperatures again in the 90s on Thursday. Rain developing late Thursday into Friday. Clears up for the weekend, though. We have a great weekend forecast coming up with highs in the mid-70s and, more importantly, low humidity.
Love the looks of that, Hattie. Thank you very much. 6:39 now. We are heading into the third night of the Republican National Convention, where Vice President Mike Pence is expected to speak. But before he does, he's introducing the country, to a family from Madison. The vice president met Sarah Hughes and her 8-year-old son, Jack, at a school choice event at the Capitol back in January. Hughes is a supporter of school choice and wrote Pence to tell her about Jack's experience at Lighthouse Christian School in Madison. The Journal-Sentinel reports the vice president's office reached out to see if they wanted to do a video for the convention. Hughes said she left it up to her son, who said they couldn't turn down the vice president.
Having the option to go to a school that fits him has been a real game changer for us.
Pence also introduced other people who he says embody the promise of the American dream. We will hear from the vice president. He's going to give his official RNC speech later today.
First Lady Melania Trump is using her convention speech as an appeal to parents and healthcare workers. She says the first responders working to fight the COVID-19 pandemic are putting the country first. She also touched on the social justice movement happening across the country, acknowledging that while the country has made some progress, it still has further to go.
A House Democrat and former presidential candidate opening an investigation into one of the RNC speakers. Julian Castro says Secretary of State Mike Pompeo's speech last night could have been illegal. Pompeo recorded his speech while in Jerusalem on an official State Department trip funded by taxpayer money. A State Department spokesperson said his speech would be made on his own time and that no taxpayer dollars would be used.
We are expecting another full lineup of speakers for day 3 of the RNC, including Kellyanne Conway, who announced that she will be leaving her position at the White House. Vice President Mike Pence and his wife Karen will speak, as well as the president's daughter-in-law, Laura. President Trump will officially accept the Republican nomination tomorrow. News 3 Now political reporter Amy Reed will follow those speeches today, and will have updates on News 3 Now and channel3000.com.
6:41 now. We're getting a closer look at what precautions the Verona area school district is taking to keep your kids safe this fall. The school is requiring face masks when kids are in school and on the bus. The district will provide those masks if students don't have one. To monitor students' mental health, the district will also do daily check-ins to see which kids might need more support. What back to school looks like depends on a student's grade level and whether parents opted for an all virtual start. Those details were approved back in July. We have all of this information up, by the way, over on channel3000.com.
We're seeing a positive new trend for the coronavirus in the U.S. The Chicago Tribune reports the number of Americans newly diagnosed with the virus is falling. Experts tie this to more people wearing masks, but also insufficient testing. We're seeing 43,000 new cases each day. While that is still a lot, it is down by more than 20% compared to the beginning of the month. Experts want to reemphasize the importance of quarantining and staying at home whenever you can. New research shows 40% of COVID-19 transmissions happen before people show symptoms. The time when people are most contagious is believed to be the day or two before patients start feeling sick. Earlier this month, the World Health Organization said this could be why we're seeing more super spreader events. The organization says between 10 and 20% of cases are responsible for 80% of the transmissions.
As more parents head back to work, their children are staying home. We're breaking down childcare options for working parents. That's when our back to school coverage continues when we return.
How about those late fall landscaping projects? From start to finish, Barnes will take note of your ideas to come up with the perfect plan. From planting to pruning, seeding to sodding, mowing to mulching, and everything in between, we are Barnes. Get started today at barnesinc.net.
Fry Construction is celebrating their 25-year anniversary, which means big savings on home repairs and improvements. No job is too small or too big, and your safety is always our concern. Respected in the industry and voted best of Madison, Fry Construction delivers lasting quality for your home. And now, for a limited time, save 25% off gutters or insulation with a full roof, siding, or windows project. Visit fryconstruction.com and get inspired for your next home improvement. Contact us today.
You've heard that an apple a day keeps the doctor away, but you still need to see your dentist because getting good dental care is important to your overall health. You know dental bills can take a big bite out of your budget, especially if you're retired or on Medicare. Even a simple cleaning can cost $200. And other procedures like crowns and root canals can cost hundreds, even thousands more. But affordable dental insurance from Physicians Mutual Insurance Company can help. Give us a call or go online for this free information kit with all the details. This isn't just a discount plan or for checkups only. This is real dental insurance that can help pay for over 350 covered procedures, like cleanings, fillings, crowns, even dentures. There are no deductibles, no annual maximum, and you can see any dentist you like. So don't wait. Call or go to sendinfokit.com to get your free information kit. Call now.
I like to drive. I used to think I was a pretty good driver.
But now Joe Biden's taken a sharp left turn. Buckle up for his $4 trillion tax hike. Biden's plan raises taxes on small business, reversing the recovery. He's pledged to eliminate blue-collar oil and gas jobs. And analysts estimate stocks would crash up to 25% if Biden takes the wheel, crushing your retirement.
This is just bold.
Hit the brakes on Biden. He'll wreck our economy. Club for Growth Action is responsible for the content of this advertising.
How about those late fall landscaping projects? From start to finish, Barnes will take note of your ideas to come up with the perfect plan. From planting to pruning, seeding to sodding, mowing to mulching, and everything in between, we are Barnes. Get started today at barnesinc.net.
They're the best-kept secrets of Madison's concerts on the square.
Hi, I'm Andrew Sewell, Music Director of the Wisconsin Chamber Orchestra. Join us as we get closer to the musicians who make concerts on the square something special.
Wednesdays on Live at 4.
Connect with News 3 Now on Facebook Messenger to create a personalized news feed just for you. The topics you want, the day's top stories, and push alerts for breaking news all through Messenger. Learn more at channel3000.com.
Many parents are still trying to figure out what to do with their kids who will be learning from home this fall as those parents go back to work. We've been reporting on how some local organizations are starting special child care programs like the YMCA, for example. A week from Tuesday, that's September 8th, the Collaborative Learning Program will be available at 7 Dane County locations to give students a place to learn while their parents are working. We're told financial assistance is available to cover the weekly $200 cost.
But for some families, a program like that just isn't an option. Josh Sprider went straight to the local child care experts to find out what options you do have this fall.
Many parents are now looking for childcare for school-aged children, something they wouldn't be thinking about without the pandemic. And in these uncertain times, that task is even tougher.
It used to be that parents would visit programs and tour them. Obviously, some of those rules and policies may have changed. And so you really want to call the program and find out how they're going about, enrolling families at this point with the pandemic.
Jody Bartnick is the Executive Director of Community Coordinated Childcare in Madison, otherwise known as 4C. She tells me there are options still available, but you better act fast. There's in-home family childcare, also different group settings, and some school districts are even offering programs.
We're partnering with the City of Madison to increase our referral database so that parents have more options for school-age care during the day.
When you're narrowing down your options, ask for references and talk to other parents. Also, make sure you call the regulatory agency to see if they're licensed properly and look into any compliance issues. The biggest thing here, she says, don't be afraid to ask the questions.
Programs are doing a really good job of making sure that kids are safe during the day. And so parents can talk about that with them and find out, what's going on and how to make sure that their kids are being well cared for.
Now, while childcare isn't cheap, many cities, counties, and even the state are adjusting subsidies, offering coverage for school-aged children during the day.
Not all parents can stay at home to homeschool and virtual school during the pandemic. So they're really trying to figure out ways to help offset those costs.
So if you have any questions about your family's options, 4C is available for free to help you out. Josh has the link up right now on channel3000.com.
So many child care dilemmas right now. Oh, man, it's not easy being a parent. It's just a lot to keep up with, and these are really important decisions that we have to make. So
it certainly is. Well, I've used 4Cs in the past, so I can say that they are a wonderful agency and a lot of help for parents. So I would recommend, if you have any issues, definitely contact them.
All right. How's the weather looking?
Yeah, well, let's take a look. Your only issue today is the AC working, or are you going to be able to stay cool? Because it is an alert day for the heat and humidity across southern Wisconsin. Temperatures are going to climb quickly this morning. We really didn't cool down much last night. We're starting in the 70s this morning. We'll top in the low 90s, 92 degrees later on this afternoon. When you factor in the heat and humidity, it's going to feel even warmer. Now, we do have some chances for rain in the upcoming forecast. Not today. The focus will be in the northern part of the state today, but on Thursday, especially later in the day and then into the day on Friday, that focus shifts into southern Wisconsin with a slight risk for severe thunderstorms. Here's a look at your future track forecast model. That rain begins to move in after lunchtime on Thursday. It will be sinking southward through the state, so it'll come down from the north. Our future track forecast model shows you chances for rain then Thursday night right into Friday and through the day on Friday. All that rain, though, should clear the area by Saturday morning. Coming up, we'll talk more about that weekend forecast, give you all the details. I think it's safe to say, though, that many people are going to like this weekend forecast.
Like the sound of that? Thank you, Hattie. 6:49, stick around. The morning sprint is coming up after the break.
But first, it's August 26th. We're going to say happy birthday to Lily. And all the kiddos turning 3 today. Thanks for celebrating with News 3 Now this morning. We'll be right back.
Look Who's 3 is sponsored by Three Bears Resort, Indoor Water Park and Conference Center in Warrens, Wisconsin.
Furniture and Appliance Mart's Labor Day appliance sale starts now. Get Wisconsin's best appliance deals, plus 18 months no interest, and free doorstep delivery within 5 days on all in-stock appliances at Furniture and Appliance Mart inside Ashley Home Store off the Beltline.
Working out? Not canceled. Catching up? Not canceled. Game night? Not canceled. Nap time? Not canceled. If new carpet would make you happier at home, we're here to help with standard carpet installation of just $75. Carpet one room or your whole house. And installation is only $75 while we celebrate our 75th anniversary. Coil Carpet One Floor and Home. Locally owned and operated since 1945.
Uneven surfaces are a major hazard to your family, friends, and employees. Don't risk another fall. Let Concrete Lifting Technologies raise up your pavement. Our minimally intrusive process uses polyurethane to level sunken concrete and provide an even surface. Plus, this process is a fraction of the cost to replacing your driveway. Concrete Lifting Technologies, Southern Wisconsin's premier concrete leveling specialists. For a free estimate, contact us today.
Now I get to make a difference in people's lives the way that the nurses that took care of my grandma made a difference in her life.
Now is the time to change your life. Herzing University makes it possible without leaving home. Herzing offers dozens of online degrees in nursing, healthcare, IT, and business. Start studying online and take the first step toward a new career.
I'm an ICU nurse.
I'm possible at Herzing.
Scranton is a long way from Wall Street. You won't find skyscrapers or big city bankers, just hard-working people. That's where Joe Biden's story starts. It's why he's running for president, for the backbone of this nation, working families. Donald Trump, he's in it for himself and his wealthy friends. In this crisis, we need to help workers and small businesses, and we need a president who will build back better.
I'm Joe Biden, and I approve this message.
Love getting prices that are lower than low on food that's fresher than fresh? With the Pick and Save app, you can get personalized coupons on top of weekly sales and rewards like fuel points, all for prices that are lower than the everyday low. So go ahead, get lower than low. Pick and Save, fresh for everyone.
Ashley Home Store's Labor Day Tempur-Pedic deals start now. Pay $28 per month interest-free for 6 years on Tempur-Pedic, plus $300 in free furniture and free guaranteed delivery within 5 days on in-stock beds. Only at Ashley Home Store. This is home.
Open your free checking account with Summit Credit Union today.
It's 6:53, time for the morning sprint.
We start with breaking news overnight. Within the last hour, we have learned at least 2 people are dead after someone shot into a crowd of protesters in Kenosha overnight. We still don't know who fired those shots, but police are believed to be looking for at least 1 suspect. The shooting started just after midnight as a group of protesters stood against police in armored trucks. Officers can be heard on scanners saying a man with a rifle was running away from that group before another round of shooting started. We will continue to track this developing story throughout the morning. You can find updates on channel3000.com.
Protests in Madison for much of the day yesterday and into last night stayed peaceful. That is until a small group of people started to make a mess. Take a look at the police precinct this morning, which was one of those targets overnight. A lot of broken glass and graffiti around the city-county building as well. Community leaders and protesters tried to stop this from happening overnight. They're worried it's going to take away from the message they're trying to send and the goals of their racial justice movement.
Madison protesters plan to continue protesting until local leaders answer to these 3 demands. They want Brianna's law passed, named after Brianna Taylor. The law would ban police from using no-knock warrants. They want lawmakers to pass the Hands Up Act, which would punish officers who shoot people who are unarmed. And they want community control of the police.
We could surpass 72,000 confirmed cases of COVID-19 in Wisconsin today. The all-time case count currently at more than 71,600. The percentage of positive cases fell yesterday, down to 6.8%, starting to flatten that orange line. Just over 10% of all confirmed cases are still active.
More than half of U.S. states are participating in the president's $300 weekly unemployment payment program. Wisconsin is not one of them. Governor Tony Evers has declined to say whether he'd opt into the plan. It requires states to apply to get $300 weekly payments. Residents can get as much as $400 a week, but the state would have to cover the extra $100. The president's plan provides 3 weeks of payments with an option to extend an extra week or 2.
Today, Wisconsin will take a moment to honor the 100th anniversary of the 19th Amendment, granting women the right to vote. Bells will ring at noon across the state. The Overture will join in here in Madison by lighting its building up in purple and gold. It's part of the nationwide Forward to Light campaign. Wisconsin, by the way, was the first state in the country to ratify the 19th Amendment.
Folks along the Texas and Louisiana coast on high alert this morning, expecting Hurricane Laura. When it does make landfall, Wisconsinites will be there to help out. The Red Cross is sending its first 3 volunteers from the Wisconsin disaster team. They'll help people in emergency sheltering and evacuation centers over the next few days.
And your first morning forecast this morning starts with temperatures in the 70s. Clear skies across southern Wisconsin. It is going to be a pretty hot day. Temperatures will warm quickly with southwesterly winds and sunshine. We'll top at 92 degrees this afternoon. Heat index values, though, are expected to be even higher. Here's a look at your heat index forecast. We reach 97 later on this afternoon here in Madison. Here's a look at that weekend forecast, though. Rain expected on Friday, drying out for Saturday and Sunday, turning very pleasant with highs in the middle 70s.
Thank you, Hattie, and thanks for joining us, folks. We hope you have a great Wednesday.